American Craftsman podcast is sponsored by Hayfla. Hayfla offers a wide range of products and solutions for the woodworking and furniture-making industries, from hinges and drawer slides to connectors and dowels, sandpaper, shop carts, wood glue, and everything in between. Exclusive product lines such as Lux LED lighting and Slido door hardware ensure that every project you create is built to last. Learn more at hayfla.com. I feel good. Welcome back to the show.
Yes, indeed. It's good to be back.
Yeah, we're joined by our new friend today, Jackie from Timbur.
Howdy do.
What's going on?
What's up?
Apologize as I save this audio file.
Yeah. We also know Jackie as the Golden Door winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get right to that.
Just set the record straight from the get-go.
Yes, the champ is here, so.
we love Jackie.
They should have had like a better title, like the Golden Sprayer or the Golden Finisher.
Yeah, I think that door still smells like Rust-Oleum.
Oh yeah, I forgot it was Rattle Can.
Yeah.
Which is funny because finish shop,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I need to call up New Doors and say, hey, that this thing had a little bit of a fat edge. So I need you guys to fix this for me. No.
Yeah, that was new terminology for me at the thing. Fat
Me
edge.
too, yeah.
Fat edge. Yeah, if people don't know what we're referring to, it was our day at New Doors, the spray day with Nate, right?
Yeah, actually, I got my card.
And it was
From Tim at
it was a little contest that nobody really knew was a contest, and Jackie came home with the best work of the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprising to me as well. It was great British baking style, show style, blind judging. It was cool.
That's what they said, but I didn't get the reference because I've never watched
You've
it.
never seen it?
No.
That's a
Have
great
you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that show.
I love cooking shows. I hate cooking competition shows
Same.
This one
because
different.
they're all competitions now. I've seen clips like
It's just really charming. They all have British accents
Yeah.
and, it's funny. And I think British humor is hilarious. So they have these little quips that just make me laugh.
Charming is the best way to describe it. It's not an American show at all.
yeah. I have a British brother-in-law, so that's entertaining.
So you haven't, you're good on the
Yeah,
British
that's
comedy.
probably as much as I could physically stomach. He's cool though.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's from Malden, the famous salt, whatever. I don't know what you would call that. It's not a mine, yeah.
Yeah, what do they call them? Salt mines?
Well, it's not. It's like coming from the ocean or whatever.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think there are salt mines, but this is not a mining
Okay.
salt
like formations,
fields.
the columns
Yeah,
are.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah. So, Jackie, you're from Timbur.
I do. I work at Timbur. Yeah. Yep. I'm representing Timbur today
Yeah, well, do them proud.
With a
I sure will.
B-U-R.
with a B-U-R.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you guys remember season 3, do you remember what episode it was, Walter? It's like early or mid season 3.
I don't
think.
remember what episode now.
Yeah.
It was pedal pushers or something. Pedal. Anyways, that was the name of it.
Yeah, I don't remember. It seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, definitely.
We weren't even doing the podcast in this room at that time.
No,
We were doing it in the storage room over there.
in the dungeon.
We had it set up. It was like, I always said it was like if you had like an older brother who had a friend who had like a basement where like they smoked pot. Like that's what it looked like. Like
It's like
very dim lights, like curtains on all the walls.
It was like an old couch in there that was like,
We had these 2 armchairs.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can picture it.
It was quite a sight.
Yeah, it was funny because whenever anybody would come over for the first time and they'd see it, they're sort of like, what's going on in here?
But it's just a concrete room, so like we had to put stuff. We had to put all the soft surfaces. Not that this is the best, but we were kind of just like, you know what, it is what it is. If you don't like the sounds,
Yeah, the acoustics were bad.
Yeah. I think we have pretty good sound though, regardless of it's a pretty hard room.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you have this nice equipment that does.
Yeah,
That does wonders.
and lots of filters.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole thing over here of effects.
Cool.
So what do you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, I'm from Timbur. I'm over here. I'm actually here on my lunch break. In between sanding
They should be paying you to be here.
Yeah.
piece of furniture. Yeah. And I know about you guys from Walter.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been working together now for a year. And I started at Timbur just shortly after he did for the same project for Kith.
Oh, yeah. That was a big one.
That was a big one. And so he and I had the same job when I started. So I was doing woodworking and fabricating
That's cool.
at that time.
With Bobby Gafferty.
Oh, Robert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby.
we call him Hibbity.
That's funny. Yeah. And so I was not finishing at the time. Now I am the lead finisher at Timbur. That's what I do.
And doing it well.
Yeah, we've seen
Thank you.
all the, high gloss stuff. I mean, this stuff's no joke. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
not for the faint of heart.
You're right. It is not. It is very laborious and so much room for error. And truthfully, I have broken down many, many pieces and started over.
Yeah. Do you guys have doors on the booth?
No,
Yeah.
it's just like yours, wide open.
Yep.
Just maybe 3 times as big.
Yeah, it's really tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So for the lay person, what is Timbur? Because they may not have watched or
Yeah, Timbur
not watched,
is,
listened to
I
Walter's
guess, classified as a digital fabrication shop.
Mm-hmm.
Design and fabrication. So Timbur does all sorts of different things. We work with different artists to fabricate their designs and then obviously finish them, make them pretty. And then also we do a lot of, lately we've been doing a lot of casework for museums. One museum in particular, I don't know if I can say which one, but we're doing museum boxes.
What does it rhyme with?
But pale.
The Museum of Modern Fart.
Don't bring in the fart jokes, dude. That's all, you're gonna get me every time. But yeah, so we're doing a lot of that. A lot of CNC robots.
Yeah.
I think we have 5 or 6 different CNC machines in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you guys have like that Anderson 2-head kind of thing. Got the 2 robot arms.
Mhm.
And
And
what,
we've
2
got-
shop sabers?
yep, and then a little 404 is what they call it. I know nothing of CNC. So,
Yeah, we really don't know anything either.
yeah, I think that's kind of one of my goals. I think in 2024 is to dibble dabble in fusion.
Yeah,
Kind of figure that out.
got it open, ready to rock at all times. Right
There
here.
it is.
There's my
Oh, there's the thing. In the shop.
So it's as easy as just draw it here, export as DXF, send it to the laser.
It's nice.
Boom.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to learn just to be able to draw what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, so we're trying to explain to you what we're building. This is what we're building.
Very
That's
cool.
the white oak.
Very cool.
Yeah, I need this. Like, I need to be able to see this too.
100%.
Yeah, I can't just conjure these things up in my head.
Right. And when I've tried to draw them by hand before, I'm a terrible drawer. Terrible. So
Yeah, even if you're like a professional drafter, I can't see anything other than what is that on the paper. I can't picture it in my head.
yeah, and it's hard to get depth,
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is important.
Yeah, we were just at a client's, was that yesterday?
Yep.
And she had the kitchen done back in the 80s, and she worked with a design team in San Francisco, and they did everything via mail and all these hand-drawn drawings.
All 2D.
Yeah. She had like 2 perspective views. That was it.
Wow. Back
And they
in
were
the
just,
day.
just sketches.
Yeah. She's like, we were sending pictures back and forth, like photographs in the mail.
I mean, it's wild that, like, I could barely remember doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, when did email become a thing? Like, what? Was that?
1990. I don't know. I mean,
I didn't get an email address until I was like applying for college.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was in high school and like didn't even have an email until the end of high school.
I think I had an email address in late 90s, like 98, 99, something like that.
Was it like AOL?
Early
Was that the first?
I guess,
thing?
yeah, AOL.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember my AOL name.
Yeah, I take that back. I did, because if I had an AOL screen name, then I definitely had an email that went with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually received an email.
Yeah, I don't remember like sending an email until like 2005 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that a prerequisite to have an email address?
Yeah, we weren't sending emails back then. We were just, I don't even know, messaging one another.
Yeah. That was when like Hotmail was like a real, now if you have a Hotmail email address, like you cannot be taken seriously.
I know, right? I actually know people with Hotmail and I'm like, man, it's time to get out of there.
My mom has like a at Yahoo. I'm like, really? Like,
Yahoo,
just get a Gmail, you know? If it's not at Gmail or like at, you know, ours is like Greene Street Joinery or like, what's the Mac one? Is it ME?
Yeah,
me.
Mac changed a couple of times because my is at mac.com.
Yeah.
Then they did at me.com. And then there's another one. I don't know what it is because I refuse to change mine.
My mail was crashing like crazy today.
Yours is Mac?
Yeah, I'm a Mac guy.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
I've been Gmail from back in the mid 2000s.
I started on Yahoo though. I think that was my first email address.
MSN was pretty big too.
Yeah. Yes, MSN.
I don't even know if MSN is a thing.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is MSN still around?
We're Googling.
Yeah, that's why we have this open. We ask questions all the time.
Yeah, and then you have to know.
In 2022, Microsoft began phasing out MSN for Microsoft Start.
Oh,
okay. So MSN was a Microsoft thing.
Yeah. Homepage, the only element of the site that's still intact.
Yeah, and then there was MSN Messenger and what was the little Winamp? You could like listen to your music and it had like the weird like visualizations on the side.
Oh yeah, with the like
kind
of trippy.
Did you
have
like an iPod?
I think the first iPod I had was an iPod Touch.
Oh, I had the Nano.
That little one, that little tiny one.
Little one, yeah.
I still remember. We've talked about this before. First kid that had an iPod, John Macaluso in high school. I was like, wow, like, this thing is fucking crazy.
Okay, I think that confirmed that you are younger than me then.
Yeah, I graduated in 2007.
Okay, yeah. High school?
Yeah.
2000.
College, I'm still waiting to
not there yet.
Matriculate.
Yeah, I'm still paying, but I just didn't happen to graduate.
That's a bummer, right?
Just for like the next 25 years.
Sure, yeah.
That's okay.
Easy.
Yeah.
Add it to the overhead.
Yeah.
That's it. Where'd you go to school, Jackie?
I went to college at the University of West Florida.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that's in Pensacola. We call that LA for Lower Alabama.
Yeah, that's like the Panhandle.
Yes, yeah. It's all the way at the very last stop before you hit Alabama.
Any interesting tidbits about why the Panhandle goes under Alabama?
I don't know. I don't know why that's the case. Well, I'll tell you why. It's probably somebody was a little greedy for the shoreline, and the Alabama people got pushed to the side.
Yeah, because they just have that little.
Yeah, they have Orange Beach, I think.
Nub of the state extends down.
It's a gorgeous beach too. I'll tell you.
What, the Alabama one?
Yeah, well, the whole Panhandle is just phenomenal.
Did they make an Alabama beach like show?
Yeah, well, so there's a bar called Floribama, and it's right on the border of Pensacola, or Florida and Alabama.
Wow, they have this thing right here. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's a bar. I don't remember what road it is on. It has to be that one down at the bottom there, but it's called Floribama because it's literally the bar is on the line of Florida and Alabama. So, yeah, Pensacola's awesome.
Wow, it really is.
I didn't know there were these
far west.
Yeah, I try to keep this to myself, especially when I talk to New York and New Jersey people. But no offense, but yeah, we try to keep keep all you guys sequestered down in Fort Lauderdale.
I didn't know that they had these barrier islands like this.
Yeah. Oh man, they're phenomenal. And right over here, just go farther east, right down there. Yeah. These two little, that peninsula there, phenomenal.
T.H. Stone Memorial.
Wow,
we just sent some work out to Naples, which is down here somewhere.
Yeah, it's way down there. Yeah. That's a nice.
Man, Florida's got a lot of coastline.
Florida is awesome, I have to say. Now, granted, I come from like 4 generations of Floridians, so.
Well, that's pretty deep.
I would think that, yeah.
Florida, what the national idea of Florida, like when people from outside Florida, or especially in the Northeast, picture Florida. Well, it's sort of like you had a great word before.
What did I say?
You said there's a lot of redneckery.
Oh, redneckery, yes.
In certain parts.
Yeah. Well, but so I don't think that most people think of Florida in that way, like you said.
Yeah.
You didn't realize it was so southern.
No.
Yeah.
I think of it as like a retirement village.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what else, like a vacation destination.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so if you look at the map here where Orlando is, I would say everything south of Orlando is like kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But everything in the north is especially southern.
It's a big state.
It is. It takes 14 hours to get from the Panhandle to the bottom.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's about how long it takes to get from New Jersey to Jacksonville.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big state.
It's funny because being from New York, I didn't know New Jersey had like what it's, how it is around here where there's greenery and there's trees.
Yeah.
And I said, why do they call it the Garden State? Because I'm always imagining like all the gas tanks and everything like that.
That's the turnpike, yeah.
That's all I knew of New Jersey.
Right.
Like
Warehouses.
Newark Airport.
Like over Newark, yeah.
And it's, it's just ignorance, I guess, when you...
I can see how you would think that. I mean, where I live now in New Jersey, I live out in farm country. So it is all rarely kind of the Garden State.
Yeah.
It's green, open.
Yeah, that's a nice area of the state.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hopewell, that whole, you have the Soarland Mountains. It's nice.
Yes.
It is cool.
So what brought you up north to Yankee Land?
Well, my wife.
It always works that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Drag us everywhere.
Yeah, so we met in Florida, and I was working at the University of Florida, and she was finishing her PhD there.
Nice.
Go Gators.
Yep, go Gators all day. And she was applying to jobs all over the place, and I said, all right, whenever you get a job, we'll go, wherever that is. And then we went to New Jersey. So she's a professor at Rutgers.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So that's why we're here.
What subject?
She is a doctor of applied behavior analysis.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. What's it like being married to somebody?
Everybody says that.
Yeah.
It's bad enough to have like armchair analysis.
No, she's a researcher, so she's not, like psychoanalyzing me or anything.
Well, she is.
So you say.
Yeah. No, she I will say she's an expert at behavioral shaping. So.
Oh, God.
My sister is a Rutgers alum. They're huge Rutgers fans.
Oh, man.
Cool.
They're playing in the Pinstripe Bowl or something, I heard.
Yeah.
At Yankee Stadium.
I went to one Rutgers game and I sat in the horn section. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Were they
No.
like musical instrument horns?
No, there is a horn that sounds, I don't know, every 10 seconds or something. And it is so freaking loud in this section. And we were like, wow, I don't know how this maintains. I don't know how this continues. It must have been the student section or something.
Mm-hmm.
Where people can tolerate that sort of thing. But it was cool.
I went to one, it was like Virginia Tech or something. I must have still been in high school. I don't remember. Back then it was fine, but now it's like, I don't want to be anywhere near that. It's just a bunch of drunk people looking to fight. And
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's she like Rutgers?
She loves it. She's pursuing her research dreams. So yeah, she really loves it. She's doing really well. So
Does she have tenure?
Not yet. She's on tenure track.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I would think probably in the next 1 to 2 years she'll start to to apply for tenure.
That would be a beautiful thing.
Definitely.
I mean, a tenured professor.
I know.
I mean, that's impressive.
It is impressive. She worked really hard to get that. So
I admire that. You could pass that along.
Okay, I will.
Because I thought I might want to be a professor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's a lot of work. I mean, first, just to get a PhD, you don't just walk in and get a PhD.
It's a lot of work.
You have to be selected and all this other stuff.
It's incredible. I think it's funny, and I'll tell the story. She tells it too. It's fine. But, she always says, she finished her undergrad with a 2.9 GPA, and now she has a PhD. So it's,
there's hope for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Rutgers has some like huge research programs. Like it's a big school for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of funding for doing cool stuff. But I think, as a professor, that's like part of your job is to get the funding. So a lot of grant writing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not all just teaching those kids.
It's not all just teaching, no. No.
I've been to a party or two at Rutgers.
That's funny though, because like a lot of our friends, they all have PhDs.
Oh, geez.
But they're cool,
Yeah. I liked going to college. That was really one of the best times of my life.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed college as well. From what I can remember, it was good.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college, Jeff?
West Virginia University.
You went to WVU.
Yeah.
Morgantown.
Mountaineers. Yep.
Yeah.
And wait, where did you go?
Well, originally I went to Arizona State, but I'm an alumni of, or do you say alumnus?
Alumni, I don't know.
I got my degree at the New School.
Wait, where's that at?
It's in Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Okay. You know of the New School?
I've heard of the New School, yeah.
It's
like very...
It's lefty.
Yeah.
You can say it.
Yeah.
Like pick your own major or whatever you want.
Yeah. You can,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of some wild things.
I majored in podcasting.
Yeah.
Have reactions to it one way or another.
It sounds great to me. I mean...
There's like a new school on Middle Road that's like Monmouth County New School, which is like similar kind of idea for kids where, it's a very personalized, choose your own, focus of study kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The New School, one thing that's super cool about it is they have a very small a group of teachers that are tenured, but most of the subjects are taught by people from the business and private sector. So if you, like I took a class in economics and was taught by a woman from Honduras who worked for the World Bank.
Wow.
So they'll, it's not like a typical economics class. She'll teach you about what happened when like a hurricane goes through Honduras,
right? And
how it takes like 100 years for them to recover because they have to borrow all this money from,
us.
So it really changes your viewpoint, I think, for the better. It rounds you out in the way that I think college is supposed to round you out.
Yeah, you should be getting some practical understanding of, real scenarios that happen, if not, hands-on stuff, but other than just theory.
Right. It's not just, memorizing numbers and, macro and micro and this and that.
You're supposed to get out of your bubble.
It was very, very enlightening.
Right.
I recommend it if anybody ever has the opportunity to go there.
Cool. There's the plug for New School.
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
That's right.
Mosaic emails us, says that they're raising prices for 2024. Thanks.
Of course.
Oh, that's been happening. My gym just raised the prices.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Anybody lowering prices?
No.
QuickBooks is like every 3 months they're like, hey, just to let you know, we're raising prices $5 every month.
Yeah, I know.
Pay like $120 a month now, I think, for QuickBooks.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, side note, I just sent my first New Doors quote.
Oh, yeah?
To a potential client. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out.
Nice.
Haven't heard back yet, but
I think
but I went on, New Doors and I was playing around. And it's cool. Very, very cool. Very cool. I was excited to learn about that.
Yeah, the All Moxie user interface is pretty good. We have a drawer company that we we've used before, and that's what they use is all Moxie, and it's no simpler, or it doesn't get any more simple than just like drop down menus like that, you know.
It was really easy. Really easy.
What are they looking for?
So they had contacted me because they wanted to. So I used to do cabinetry before Timbur, so there is a little bit of background there. But they had wanted me to. They had saved all of their old cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and they'd wanted me to make that, refinish them because they have paint on them, and also add like a shaker style trim around it.
They're just like slab doors.
Yeah, they're just like slab doors, and they have like a little bit of a round over on the edges. They're like exactly like my kitchen cabinets, actually, old. And I kind of was like, man, I really think you guys should just get new doors.
There you go.
You were paying attention at the
yeah. But I mean, I really do kind of think they'd be happier with it. I mean,
it's a lot of work to.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. And and then my colleague Jesse was like, "Are they warped? What kind of condition are they in?" And I was like, "I actually don't know. I just saw them stacked. I don't know what condition they're in." So, and she wanted soft closed hinges as well. So, I would need to drill all those hinge holes, which I don't really have any kind of a jig to do that. I mean, I could get the guys to see it, but so I was like, let's just give her this quote for new doors and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that little bay window thing that we're building is it has which we kind of scoff at, the inset panels, where it's panels but they're inset like a door. Which we were just talking about like last week. It's like, why do people do that? It's like it's not a functioning door.
Right.
Anyway, this is going to be a drawer and this is going to be a drawer, but we're going to buy these from New Door.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so we'll just make the face frame. Buy these from those guys. We have to add a little molding in there because they're trying to match something.
Right.
When you need the right saw blade for the job, put your trust in Ridge Carbide Tools. For over 50 years, Ridge Carbide has been producing industrial saw blades designed with exact specifications for the cutting results you expect. Before you buy, call Ridge Carbide and they'll help determine the right tool that meets your needs and your budget. After the sale, Ridge Carbide provides sharpening services for all of your saw blades, dado sets, router bits, and joiner and planer knives. Located in Kansas, Ridge Carbide Tools provides high-quality products with outstanding customer service at a fair price. What are you cutting?
Everyone's obsessed with matching. It's like the kitchen's like over there, but they're like the doors need to match the kitchen.
Same, yeah. Same with this person as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But luckily, shaker style is pretty easy. So
yeah, I was going to guess white shaker.
It's actually it might be white. I don't remember the color actually. It's probably some kind of off white or a hint of gray situation.
Yeah,
you guys doing the top as well?
Yeah, so it'll just be plywood, and I'm thinking we'll just do 1.5 inch edge banding, like 1 millimeter solid white oak edge banding.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
So I ordered 2 sheets of, I called up Fez, who's our plywood supplier, and I'm like, yeah, I need 3/4 inch flat sawn white oak on an MDF core. I forget if they didn't have it or something, but they were like, we have shop grade white oak on MDF core, or we have Rift on white oak on an MDF core. And the Rift was like, it was actually like $2 cheaper. I don't know why. Than the plain slice stuff. So I bought 2 sheets because this is like 25 and you just can't eke out the whole thing out of 8 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then they delivered it and they sent the saleswoman had it right on the invoice, but they sent 1 sheet of flats on and 1 sheet of riffs on. I'm like, what the hell?
No.
Yeah.
That stinks.
So tomorrow we got to flip flop. We got to exchange that out.
Yeah. So, okay. You used to be a chef?
Yeah.
And a musician?
Yeah.
And you used to...
I worked in restaurants too. I worked like in the front of the house. So I was a waiter, a bartender, a like assistant GM kind of thing.
So this is your second career kind of, or...
Yeah. I mean, I did that for 10 years.
Yeah. And when did you jump on over here to woodworking and carpentry and stuff?
About 20 something years ago, low 20s, just out of necessity. I was a teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, I taught high school.
Cool. What did you teach?
History.
Oh.
So you can imagine when I was telling the kids, I got called into my supervisor's office more than one occasion.
Wow. Yeah. I loved history. I kind of want to know what you were telling them now. Like, why did you get called in?
I was telling the truth too often.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember, I'm from the new school.
Right. Rob from the new school is giving you too much information right now.
Yeah, man. You wouldn't make it now.
Somebody censor Rob fast.
These kids might learn some things.
Yeah. The kids, I mean, I really loved the kids. The kids loved me.
Yeah.
I got along great with them. The administration, not so much.
Yeah.
And when I came out to New Jersey, well, I met my wife, who was also a teacher. We came out to New Jersey. And while I was waiting to get my teacher's license for New Jersey, because you need a different license, I was working while I was in school for this commercial contractor in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back to work. I was commuting to New York. And while I was on that job, somebody said, we need this railing made. And I said, oh, I can do that.
Cool.
So I did that. And then he gave me a job at his house making a mantle. And
That's nepotism.
Yeah. I said, I could do this, while I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I said, worst case scenario, I'll go back to work in the restaurant.
Right.
And just little by little, I worked out of my basement. A couple of years later, built a shop. And it's just sort of like I meandered around thinking, one day something will come up.
Yeah.
And nothing else ever came up.
So you just kept rolling.
Yeah, I just kept rolling.
In this direction.
I went with the breeze.
That's good. Like a slow build. I love that.
I was never one to plan things out too far in advance.
Right. Yeah.
So
I
I did a little bit of luck, I think, helps.
Yeah, that's good. And you worked, so you've been self-employed and then you worked for cabinet.
Oh yeah. Where Jeff
companies.
and I met.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I injured one of my elbows and I really had a hard time working by myself. It's, it's hard to work by yourself.
Did you get the tennis elbow?
I sort of tore my bicep tendon.
Oh, wow.
And it took a long time to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And I had met Thomas. He had helped me out of a jam with this. He got his finisher, Al, to finish a piece for me. And Thomas was always saying, come work for me. Come work, get the same pitch he gave Jeff. That's how we both ended up at Thomas.
Yeah.
The one thing I'll say about Thomas is he's always got a good crew.
That's great.
He's always got a good crew. So, went to work for Thomas and our paths kind of crossed there. And eventually we started working together, Jeff and I.
Yeah. And
I said, I got this shop sitting empty at the back of my house. Why don't we, do something?
Do something on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we were always sick of the way that Tom wanted to do everything.
Yeah.
He's a real corner cutter.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. We can't even begin to explain. You have to witness it yourself. It's the only way to fully comprehend. And we get news back from people that work there now, and they're like, it's crazier than it's ever been. It's like, how could it possibly have gotten any crazier than it was back then?
Using 2 different species of plywood on a cabinet case.
And that's like a tame,
Yeah, not, some of the stuff though, we won't get into
like this, using slides that were longer than the cabinet and cutting a hole in the wall.
No.
So
yeah. Stuff you just gotta your head starts to hurt.
We could just buy a couple, pairs of slides. They're $15.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What about your path into the trades?
This is my second career. So I had my first career was, I worked in leadership development, student development, adult development, and outdoor education.
Oh, I like
so I used to do wilderness guiding and education and stuff like that. So I had a whole career of wilderness expedition type thing.
That's cool.
And then I would say in my late 30s, I said, I had always wanted to be a carpenter, always. And I was late in life and I said, I have no experience. How am I going to do this? So I cold called this cabinet guy out in Pittstown, New Jersey. And the only reason he answered the phone was because he thought I was his tenant named Jackie in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some coincidence.
I will say.
Yeah.
And so then I just, I talked him into giving me an interview, and I went in, and I think he had originally, and I said, I really don't have much experience at all. But I had, all this work experience. I was professional. And I think he was kind of looking for someone to be like kind of more managerial. And I jumped in and started working and really got a wild, saturated experience in a 1.5 years time in this cabinet company. It was just me and one guy and the owner. And so I got to do everything from, demoing a kitchen all the way to install and finishing.
What was the shop like, as far as machinery and tooling? And
he had, there was no CNC. He had, it was at his house, and, he had one table saw in the middle of the room. He had a chop saw. He had a panel saw. He did have a really nice hinge press, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he had a little finishing room. He had like a little garage that he turned into a finishing area.
that's cool.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I wanted to get out of there as soon as possible. And then I found I was on the Monmouth, what is it called? The wood joint?
Oh, yeah.
That school?
Yeah.
I was like, I want to take a class. I like taking classes and stuff. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to click on this job site thing just to see what's up. And I saw that Timbur had posted a position. So I called Anya and talked to her and had an interview. And now here I am.
Well,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all on you guys are on second careers. I'm on my 12th career. But that's why, like, when we talk to Corey, out in Long Island, like he's this friend of ours, and he wanted to do what he's doing. He has his own shop and everything ever since he was just a little kid.
yeah. Like he started professionally at 16,
Yeah.
Wow. That's a dream, really. Yeah.
Yeah. My earliest thing was I wanted to be a veterinarian when I was a kid.
Yeah. I think I was like, I want to be a marine biologist.
What about you, Jeff? What was your earliest?
I wanted to be like like in restaurants.
Yeah.
Since I was pretty young.
Where'd that come from, you think?
I always liked, cooking show. Like Emerald Live was like a big show when I was like probably like 10 years old. And I remember watching that. Yeah. And then, obviously I fell out of love with that whole Emerald thing because it was just too. I feel like that's how a lot of things are. You get like that Dunning-Kruger where in the beginning you're like, oh, this person knows everything. And then you're like, wait a minute, this guy doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Once you start to learn a little bit, you're like, your heroes become like clowns.
Right.
Yeah. That's sad. I know.
Yeah. And then, I started working in restaurants at whatever the youngest you can work, 13 or 14. And all throughout high school, I had planned, like I wanted to go to Johnson & Wales. And then, as I continued to work and, was looking at going to college, I'm like looking around, I'm like, man, this is a pretty tough existence.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at all
the
these
old timers, man.
And like I worked in nice restaurants and, you look in the kitchen and these guys have been through the ringer.
They're all disgruntled and
like bodies are broken.
Yeah.
Not, I'm in a similar position now, but so I was like, and I was in a sports medicine class and I played football and stuff and I was really into that. So then I said, I'll go to school for athletic training. And then, you get to school and it's your freshman year, first semester, and there's like 200 kids in this thing. And they're like, all right, so only 40 people are going to make it into the program. I'm like, well, I definitely know that I'm not, I'm not going to be in this top 40 out of 200, so then I was a sociology major. I thought maybe I'd become an attorney or do. I had a big interest in doing like I don't know what you would call it, like sort of like social rehab, where like maybe people that got out of prison, you help them reacclimate.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not sure what the term for that would be, but and then I just sort of fell into this in like 2012.
Oh.
Yeah, Sandy hit.
What did you trip over?
Well, Sandy hit the restaurant where I was working, and I picked up part-time work. And that was that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so, like, how did you get experience? Did you
fear?
Yeah, basically.
What'd you say? Fear?
Fear and YouTube.
Yeah, that was it. You know.
Yeah.
So I worked for a guy first, and basically what we were doing is just like cutting sheetrock at 2 feet and ripping it out, and putting in basically just trying to fix these flooded homes, like just get people back into their houses.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for, I don't know, maybe a year. And then work kind of dried up with him, and I went back to bartending for a little bit. And then my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, she's a hairdresser. And one of her clients, she was like, oh, yeah, my husband's a custom builder. So then I, talked to him on the phone, ended up going to work for him for, I want to say 5 years. And then got a job at TCC.
In cabinets.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I was like ended up as like the lead finish carpenter for a custom builder before I felt I had hit that sort of knowledge and definitely pay ceiling. It was like, all right, I've gone as far as I can go here. It's time to try and move to the next.
Yeah.
That's almost like the restaurant business too. That's why it's so fluid. People move from location to location.
Right.
You hit the pay ceiling, you hit the, you've taken in everything you could learn in that kitchen, and then you just go somewhere else.
Otherwise you're going to be cooking the same chicken franchise for the next 25 years,
Yeah, I couldn't do. I was listening to that one episode with Walter, and he said, "Yeah, we did the same exact thing every single day. We made the same cabinets every single day." That would really, I couldn't do it.
No,
I like to have a lot of variety in what I do.
Yeah, that's why I liked catering.
Yeah,
everything was always different, and every event was different. If you had a bad night, the next night was going to be completely different, so it wasn't going to happen again.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
So how do you like finishing now that you're like full time doing just finishing?
Yeah, full time finishing is cool. I don't think I've ever been so challenged in anything I've ever done. It is very challenging.
It's hard.
And the things that I'm doing are also difficult. We're doing candy paint. I'm putting automotive paint on a hunk of plywood, basically. But I like it a lot. It's really cool, and it's been changing a lot too. So we used to have guys that were just like their whole role was just surface prep.
I was going to ask, are you doing all your own prep work?
I'm doing all my own prep work now.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's a lot about that I like, because I think I can do it a little bit faster than someone who I think there's a lot to be said about doing prep work and then also to finishing it to really understand what you're doing when you're doing the prep work. Does that make sense?
It's nice to have ownership over something.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if, let's say this guy is prepping the stuff and he gives it to you, you start to spray it and you're like, oh, what happened, here?
Right.
Now it's all on you. You have total control over,
Yeah. And I think I also know what I can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Versus someone who hasn't seen it all the way through that paint process, wouldn't know that. And so they might spend a little bit more time. Because, we have to think about efficiency.
Yeah.
If we have all the time in the world, then you can just take your time and find every tiny little thing.
I want to thank our sponsor, Unita. We've been using the Unita 3x4 sanders with 320 grit Film Tech sandpaper now for a couple months. And, they've become an integral part of our finishing schedule. So we're using the 3x4 with the Film Tech to prep all of our parts once they get their, first coat of primer or their first coat of clear. We're using the Unita Film Tech sandpaper on the 3x4 for all of our sanding at that point. And the nice part about the 3x4 is getting into your panels And we've mentioned it before, it's a nice, fast way to sand, but it's not so aggressive that you're going to burn through. So check them out.
You don't have all the time in the world over there?
No, we don't. No, sure don't. So we have a lot of pieces right now. We have 4 pieces right now in Miami, doing at Design Miami, which is cool. Yeah. But to answer your question, I like it. I like it a lot.
That's good. It's good to go to work every day and like what you're doing.
Yeah, it is cool. And of course, the guys at Timbur, and I say guys because they are all guys, except for Anya, are great. I genuinely love all of them. Mm-hmm. They're fantastic. And
even the folks up on the carpet?
Even the guys on the carpet. Oh, man.
That's another
Those
great
carpet
expression.
guys. Yeah. I learned that at the cabinet shop. This Czech guy that I worked with, he was the only other guy that was there, and he taught me a lot. He taught me how to carry a piece of plywood properly, which has been helpful. He said, he would say, oh, yeah, they're on the carpet. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, because they don't work on the shop floor. They're literally sitting on carpet all day. Oh, okay.
We don't even have a carpet in the office. No.
Yeah, well, we
have
on
this rug.
We are on some carpet right now.
Yeah. Old rug.
How's your experience been in the trades as a woman in the trades?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I would say great question. I don't know what it is. I keep going. I've always picked fields that are male dominated. I guess it's just where my interests lie, which is fine. So far, so good. My first job in the cabinet shop was challenging for me. Mm-hmm. It really was, in many different ways. But at Timbur, and ever since I left that place, everybody just looks at me like I'm another person in the shop, and that feels really good. It's just. I mean, I don't have a ton of experience in the trades up to this point, but so far, so good.
Yeah, you got to get out on a couple of job sites to feel that stare.
Yeah, no, I have definitely experienced that before, and it's a little bit awkward. But you know, I mean, if I'm really going to talk real to you, and I don't mind it. It's like, I think I have to be. I think I'm always like a little bit protective of myself right off the bat.
Yeah, of course.
I'm like really mindful about what I'm wearing, and am I gonna, I'm like, who's behind me when I'm gonna bend over to pick this thing up, and things like that.
All the things we don't have to give a second thought to as guys.
Yeah, it's just but over time, you start to learn people, and that you feel safe and comfortable, and it's all just it's all the same.
When I started in it, like as a line cook in the 80s, there were no women in the kitchen,
right?
And I had a good friend, became good friends with this woman. She was a girl, really, at the time. When I was a boy, she was a girl. And she had the hardest time because, like, the dishwashers wouldn't, like, pick up her stuff. And, like, every now and again, I'd come back and she'd be in tears and, on the line.
Yeah.
So, thank goodness, I would say, for the most part, we've come a little bit further.
Definitely. I look forward to the time when I'm less of a unicorn and more of a, horse.
I talked about it before when I was a finish carpenter. I had a helper, Leilani, and a very similar story. She was like in her mid to late 30s, had a career, and she just wanted to get out of like this corporate bullshit, whatever she was doing. She was the best. I couldn't train anybody else to do things the way that I wanted them to be done. And she was amazing.
Yeah. And I think it's cool. I hope that I think a lot of women want to do this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're great at it, just like anybody else would be great at it. But for some reason, there's just aren't too many people that actually do it. I have a theory, and I think it's great that there are more girls in STEM. Because I think something happens in middle school when things start to get really gendered, and shop classes for boys, and building things is for boys, and math is for boys, and this and that and the other thing. I think that's changing, so that's good.
Yeah, I taught one semester in middle school. It's insane.
Yeah, middle school is a weird time.
All the girls are like a foot taller than the boys, and they're looking at the boys, like more romantically, and the boys are children.
Yes, 100%.
Fighting on the floor. It was nuts.
Yeah, middle school is a weird time for everybody, for sure.
Now it's even like my niece is 10, and you could see she's already like becoming more of a woman than like a little girl at 10 already.
Yeah.
It's like, this is crazy.
It's frightening.
It is. But thanks for asking that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's funny because it didn't even occur to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why.
Leilani, she works in a shop now, you know?
Yeah.
She left shortly after I left. But she's still doing it.
That's
She
great.
was good.
Yeah. Well, at Spray Day for Nate, how many women were there?
There were 2 other women. One of them was a business owner, does refinishing stuff, I think.
Yeah.
And then the other woman, I actually have no idea what she did.
I think she was like a project manager, designer.
Oh, that was the one that caught my ear.
Danielle? maybe?
Interior design, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was elusive about what she did. I asked her about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So maybe she was just trying to learn something new,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of what would you say? Like, what would you call the folks that are on TV that kind of, doing the home reno shows? I mean, at least you see people that, look like you, so to speak. I mean, that's always the first step.
That
to be able to envision, okay, well, there's a woman doing
I'll never
that.
forget that show that I watched. I don't really love watching those shows, first of all, but when I was younger, I can't remember, there was one woman, the first female carpenter I'd ever seen, was on, remember that guy named Ty?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like an older show.
Extreme Home Makeover or something.
Like that.
Yeah.
And this was like, a long time ago. And she was always just in the background. She didn't really do much talking, but she was like working. And I was like, that's badass.
Yeah.
How can I be her?
Yeah, there were 1 or 2 shows before, it got so crazy. Like when there was only like one network that had these shows.
Right.
There were like 1 or 2 shows where there was like a legit woman carpenter on the show. I can't remember which ones they were, but
Nancy Heller.
No.
She passed away, unfortunately, I think like last year, 2 years ago. Amazing furniture maker. I've got
Look her up.
a bunch of her books. Yeah.
Cool.
She was like a big Taunton. Were they Taunton Press books? I think so. She was great.
Yeah, I think I do get a little bit frustrated because there isn't a lot of great representation of women doing not real work, but good carpentry work. But a lot of these now home makeover shows are like husband and wife, and the wife is like doing the interior decorating and picking out the colors and doing like a very kind of gender rolly.
Yeah.
doing the girly stuff.
Yeah, doing the girly stuff, and then the guy's like walks into the room with a sledgehammer and like gets filmed knocking down a wall, and then like probably walks away and goes and has a cup of coffee while everybody else does the work.
It's very easy to tell that the man is not proficient in the actual carpentry anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, put on this flannel shirt and this brand new tool belt.
Oh,
yes,
God.
and make sure you grow your beard out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
That was like that show, Making Fun with Jimmy DiResta.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you had seen that, but it was like Jimmy DiResta, and it was just like 4 40-year-old white guys with beards and flannel shirts, like making stuff. And I mean, it wasn't bad. It was like marketed towards kids on Netflix. So they made these wacky
cute.
sort of contraptions, and it was pretty good. But I have a feeling that's why it didn't get renewed, because it was just very like these are all the same guy, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no, it was like a little flat.
Diversification.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, what's funny, when we're on the job, everybody thinks I'm Jeff's dad.
Really? That's a whole nother thing,
Yeah. Speaking of stereotypes,
Yeah.
what's the old guy doing with the young guy?
Where's your pops today, Jeff?
Somebody has probably said that exact thing to me before.
Yeah. You and your pops want a burrito for lunch? I'm going out.
But that's the way people think, I know. You can't stop
No,
it.
it's all good.
Oh,
It's all good.
It's funny, though. I mean, we can't even count the number of times people have said that, because they can't wrap their head around why 2 people with an age difference could be joined in any other way.
Yeah.
Or they think I'm the helper. Like I had the one lady like gave me like $20.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh my God. I was at that cabinet job, and I showed up and somebody was speaking to the owner. The owner of the house was talking to the owner of the company and said, "Yeah, you can just get your cleaning girl
Oh God!
And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm the cleaning girl now.
Oh geez.
Can you just get your cleaning girl to sweep up? And I was like, oh man.
We had a girl helper for a while. Remember that? What was her name? Was it Tasia? No, something like that.
That was like a little bit before I
had a girl. I used to have helpers in the shop.
Yeah.
And I had these two young boys, brothers, for like 10 or 11 years consecutively. Like they'd start when they were like in the 7th grade.
Wow.
And come and sweep up after school.
Yeah.
So I always, because I was crazy about cleaning up the shop every day.
Yeah.
Like, because it was such a small space. So every day I would sweep and vacuum.
Right.
So I used to have the kids come over, and I had this girl, I can't remember her name.
It wasn't Tara, was it?
Tara. He's got the best memory.
It's fading.
Ooh, that makes me want to guess your zodiac sign.
Yeah, go for it.
Scorpio.
Nope.
Oh, cool. I'm pretty good at that.
Aquarius.
I knew it.
Trick question.
Oh, man. So what's my Scorpio sign?
You're not a Scorpio, clearly. Let's see.
My wife's a Scorpio.
I think you might be like a Pisces.
I'm an Aries.
Oh, see, I told you I was good at this.
Third career upcoming.
Future palm reader.
We could set up like a little thing, could have like the neon sign.
Yeah. Come in here and get your palm read. It will be absolute bullshit, but I'll tell you stuff.
That's industry standard.
We're going to tell you right up front, though.
Yeah, right. Give me $20 and I'll tell you false information.
There you go.
You have a dead relative, don't you?
Yeah.
Someone that you know has died.
Yes.
At some point.
You've been to a funeral.
Yeah. Well, just to touch lightly on the women in the trades thing, so much I think is made of like the heavy lifting part of
right.
it, when it's really not. It's more about attention to detail and perseverance and all these other things.
So many other things,
It's not your ability to lift 75 pounds.
Right. Well, on that topic, I'll say two things. One, a little bit of technique goes a long way.
There you go.
When it comes to carrying things. And I'm not a big person, so I can say that. And the second thing is every single person needs help carrying things and should get help carrying things.
Oh God, yeah.
Because that's how you get hurt.
That's how you get hurt. And then over time, you do it for 30 years and you're carrying plywood by yourself or sheetrock or whatever, you're going to regret it over time.
Yeah, we already do.
So I guess, that's a really good point. It doesn't matter who you are, how strong you are, how small you are, how big you are, you have to have help.
Yeah.
And you just have to ask for it.
And you probably haven't talked your way into 2 jobs with little experience for those jobs. You must have all these other qualities in abundance.
Yes, actually. No.
Well, I mean,
thank you. Yeah.
There's all the things that you can't teach people, like
right.
showing up ready to work on time, good attitude, pleasant demeanor, remembers, what you're taught.
Right.
All these things. I mean, that's how you get ahead in life.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. There's all these or harder to train qualities.
Right. You can
go a long
learn
way.
How to use the tools.
Right.
Yeah. We can figure out a way to move heavy things.
Yes.
Because there's always something that's too heavy for anybody to move.
Exactly.
Anyways.
We have the wheel.
We have a forklift. Yeah. Or like a little dolly or, whatever.
Right.
I think a lot of it is, I mean, we've seen in different shops and on job sites sort of the machismo is not the right word. It's like it could be like an old boys club and some men feel they don't want to be invaded upon, where they have to watch what they say and do.
Yes,
and
certainly.
That's a lot of it, I think. But
yeah, there's that. Well, I think too, being a carpenter and being able to build things was, I think, a real sign of masculinity. For a really long time, and still is, and I think that for a lot of guys, maybe if a woman can do it, then it takes away from that thing for them.
I wish my wife could do some of this shit.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. I mean, now we're talking about psychology. But
somebody else could teach. Is going to have to teach her, but
right.
But I always like to what's that analogy? Like, it doesn't take away the light on my candle to light another candle.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was because I was watching something on Instagram and they were going around. I think you guys know Barstool Sports.
Yeah. Is that the guy with the pizza? Does the pizza thing?
I don't know. It's a ridiculous thing. And somebody was walking around and said, what is the most manly thing that a man can do? And most people said something related to building your own thing. And so I was just, that makes sense to me, because that kind of falls in line with what I was just saying, that is seen as like a really manly thing to do. And it is great. But I think when we have that view of carpentry and building things, then there's no room for a woman if that's the only way it's viewed.
Yeah. And it's funny. I Jeff, I don't know if you've felt this, but sometimes in going in the opposite direction, like we want to be seen as designers and not decorators, but we want our opinions to matter.
Yeah.
On that side of things.
On like
people don't, usually people look at us and go,
seen as like cavemen.
I never thought about that. That's a really, really good point.
Plywood.
It's funny because we value our own thoughts and opinions on this topic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for saying that. I hadn't even thought of that. How that might go in that direction. Yeah.
It's funny.
I wouldn't trust myself in that direction, to be honest.
Just goes to show you, people are shitty.
Yes.
That's what we've come away with.
No, but I've met some really great people, including you guys, and I feel very welcome, and it's great.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's funny. We really didn't even know you until a couple of weeks ago. Like,
we walked in, we're like, they got Timbur shirts on.
Look at that, Timbur. Yeah.
Now we got a new friend.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's great.
You guys are like local celebrities, so I was like, ooh, the Greene Street guys are going to be there. Oh, man.
Keansburg celebrities. It's us and like the guy who got arrested last night at the bar, probably.
I mean, I even put on my best boots that day because I knew you guys were going to be there. I'm kidding, I didn't. Oh, man.
Well, let's reiterate that you were the Golden Door winner.
Yeah, let's reiterate that.
That's A-list Keansburg.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, thanks, guys. I feel like I should get back to work now.
Yeah, you probably you tell them we kept you.
Yeah, I'll have them send you the bill.
We'll email on you.
Yeah, email.
Say, listen, before you even get back there.
Yeah.
Tell everybody where they can find you on, social, if you want, on social media.
Of course, yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely, I will. Sure will. All of my 800 followers.
Go ahead.
Well, it's going to be more after this.
Oh, good.
Away.
Yeah, great. Cool. Thanks, guys, so much.
Yeah, well, where do they find you?
Oh, my Instagram handle is jack.ash.matt. 2 T's.
Jack.ash.matt.
Yeah.
2 T's. All
yeah.
right.
And we'll tag you when we'll put out like a reel or something from the show on the Instagram.
I'm available for finishing needs and all that stuff too. I do a side stuff as well, so I'm kind of looking to get into that a little more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I was telling Rob, we're actually that big restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They have something else. It's like a high gloss closet. I was like,
yeah, we know somebody.
Yeah, you know somebody.
Something just came across my desk. I'm like, I know somebody now.
It's good to know people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, that's, we were talking a little bit about social media, not to get too far off the rails as we close up, but it's broadened our circle of friends and colleagues greatly. It's really been one of the big benefits for me personally.
Yeah. And you guys do it all.
Like the guilds that used to be around, but now it's, via your cell phone.
And it's bigger, wider.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
All right. Well,
all right.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Won't be the last time if it's our choice. We'd love to have you on again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
We truly appreciate you listening. If you want to support the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Share the show with your friends or consider subscribing to our Patreon. We'll see you next week. Yeah!